Today's daf is Masechtas Nedarim Daf Lamed Tes. We are holding on Daf Lamed Tes on the base by the Mishnah 2 lines from the bottom. Small Mishnah, and the Mishnah discusses things that what do you do for your friend if you moider enough from him. If somebody is asks his friend Bahana, and then he goes in to visit him. The halacha is, he should stand when he visits him. He should not sit. Another halacha is the Mishnah, Umaraboy. Refuas nefesh. He should heal him, or refuas nefesh, the body of the chayla. Avalei refuas mammon. He's not allowed to heal him his mammon, not his animals. Okay, Zak the Gemara. The Mishnah said that if he's moed enough from Mechaveroi, he should go into him and he should stand and not sit. Zak the Gemara Ma'askin, what's it talking about? If it's talking about the one that's visiting his nechasim or asur on the chayla, and the whole heter of him visiting him is only because the mitzvah bikur chaylim safilu yoshev nami, then why can't he even sit? If it's the opposite, the nechasim of the chayla, the nether was that they were asur on the visitor. And so, fracting Gemara, afilo oimid namiloi, he should not be able to visit him even standing up, because when this visitor, which is the mother, steps into the room, he has hana, the chayla has hana from this guy being in his rishus. Amar Shmuel, so Shmuel says no. It's talking about the nechasim of the visitor he made asur onto the chayla. So the Gemara's question was with that why can he sit? So the Gemara said no. It's talking about a place where they charge for sitting with the chayla. However, they do not take money to stand. So if he would sit, that would technically be something that the chayla would pay for, so he'd be getting enough from him. Zak the Gemara, fracting Gemara, my paska, then why does the Mishnah say it as a blanket statement? That's the Gemara's question. The Mishnah says he's the chayla tali in the minig hamakom. If it's tali in the minig hamakom, then the Mishnah doesn't seem like it's tali in the minig hamakom, because the Mishnah is saying a blanket statement that you could only stand, but you can't sit. But l'chara it's not true. If the minig hamakom is not to charge for yeshiva, then he could stand. So Gemara Kamash Malon, the Tana is coming to tell you the fact that he said that Amid is always mutter. The af of makom shenoitun sachar ala yeshiva boilim mishkal ala mida loy boilim mishkal. The Tana is coming to tell you that really, which is a side halacha, which is negated to this, that even a place where they take schar, not for visiting sitting there, but they take schar in general for bikur chayla, they charge money to visit a sick person. So the halacha is al yeshiva boilim mishkal. On a yeshiva, if a visitor, someone's b'makachal is sitting down, it's mutter to take schar, although it's a mitzvah, because technically you can do it standing. But somebody that's standing, you're not allowed to charge for bikur chayla, because you're not allowed to take schar in a mitzvah. So since on Amida it's always asur to take schar for the mitzvah bikur chayla, so therefore the Mishnah said that if somebody's nitzvah shlavakroi, then you should always, so that would always be mutter in any case. Masha'in king yeshiva would be totally minig hamakom. The Iba Yisema, another reason why the Mishnah chapta on this halacha and this surah, he's saying a different shot, like the shita of Reb Shimon ben Al Yakum, that even a place where they don't take schar yeshiva, not like the Gemara's last mahalach, still will be asur, like Reb Shimon ben El Yakum, that he says that the reason why the asur on the moeder to go into the field of a madir on Shvius, because the Gezerah Shema Yisha ba'amida, maybe the moeder is going to he's going to wait in the field longer than he needs to take the peiros from the field. So hachanami, so meaning even though he technically would have a heter to take peiros shvius from the field of the madir, but that would only be just enough to get the peiros shvius. But what happens is he stays there extra 5 minutes and he just enjoys the field, then he's getting hana from the madir, and that's why they said don't stand there because maybe you'll come to the hana. So hachanami is Gemara. The halacha is that the mavaker is not allowed to sit down. Why? Gezerah shaving yishuv yeshiva. Maybe he'll sit there more than the mitzvah of bikur chaylim without taking schar, and then he's going to give hana to the chayla, which is usher to take it off from him. Ula Amar. Ula says a different pshat in the Mishnah. La'olam b'shenichsei choyle asur al avakar. Avad the Mishnah is talking about like this: that the nechasim of the choyle are asur on the mavakar, the one that's visiting. Makal makom l'mayis, that's mutter for him to visit him, even when he's standing, it's mutter. Uchegoin d'lei adri min chayusei, that the madir, when he made his neder, his intention was not to aser him and things that are negate to the moider's life. And since bikur cholim is something negated to the life of the moider, so he did not intend to aser that. And even if he didn't specify it in his neder, we say that was the madir's kavanah. Affecting Gemara, afil yoshim nami. So then, okay, so you can visit him because it's not negate, because he didn't want to he didn't have kavanah to madir to make him also on something that's negated to his life. So afil yoshim nami should also be motor. So affecting Gemara, ha'efshar ba'amida. The reason why yeshiva is asar is because yeshiva is not necessary for the chayei madir. He could visit him, but for the life of the madir, something in his life, but that he could do standing up. So mainly yeshiva will be included in the nisr. Zakti Gemara. So now the Gemara is going to ask on Shitas Shmuel that says that the nichsei of mavakar are asar on the chayla. That was Shmuel's shita. So frekti Gemara meisvei asar kasha. Chalahu, if a guy asks his friend bahana and he himself gets sick, nichnas lavakrai, he's allowed to go in to visit him. Chala b'noi, whatever if the guy's son gets sick, then he's not allowed to go in to visit him. Rather, shoyle b'shok, he's allowed to ask about him in the street. He's allowed to check on him, ask and see how he's doing. So now Zakti Gemara, Bishloima L'ula Da'amar B'shenichsei Choyle Asur Al Mavakar. So it's very good according to Ula that said that it's talking about, the Mishnah's talking about when the nechasim of the Choyle Asur on the visitor, and therefore he's still allowed, and then Kahai Gavna, the Mavakar is still allowed to visit him. He's allowed to visit him because he did not answer him from giving hana to something that's negated to his life, which is visiting him when he's sick. So as a shopper, you could explain the brisa very well also, that if the madir gets sick, the moider is allowed to visit him, since he did not have hana to answer him from this thing. And if his son gets sick, then the moider is not allowed to visit him because he's having hana from Drusis Rego in the house of the madir. And therefore he's only Sheila B'Shok. El Shmuel's like the Gemara the Amar that says the Mishnah is talking about B'Shenichsei Mavakar Asur on the Chayla, and the Nechasim of the visitor Asur on the Chayla, and he's only allowed to visit him standing up, since he don't take schar, having a mitzvah but not be yeshiva, because then something like that he takes schar, and he's having hana from that he's doing for free. So you'll say also the Bryce is also talking about that the Nechasim Mavakar Asur on the Chayla. So Maishnahu, why, if the moider gets sick, it's mutter to mevakar him, umayshna b'noi? How come the son of the chayla, the Bryce said it's aser? The chayra, if it's mutter for the mevakar, which is the madir, to visit the moider when he gets sick, because it's the mitzvah, which would be according to Shmuel, then kolshkein, he's allowed to visit his son, which he's not aser b'ana b'chlal. The son has not even part of the neder. So why should it be us to visit the son? So it says the Gemara, Masnisin b'shenichsim mevakar asur on the chayla. Mishnah is talking about that the nechasim mevakar asur on the chayla, and therefore it's mutter for him to visit in Ba'amida, but not Yeshiva. Mashing in the Bryce is talking about the opposite. Shalichse Choyle Asur in Al Mavakar. The Chasim the Choyle are Asar in the Mavakar. And the Mavakar himself is allowed to visit him because of the Svara of Ula, which said because he's Lo Yadr Mechayusei. And his son is not allowed to because that's not negated to the Chayei Madir. Mamela that bikur is Bechlal, the Neder, that the Chayla is Asr on the Mavak. So therefore he himself would have the whole heter because it's negated to the Chayav, Mashing and his son. It's not negated to Chayei Madir, the son so Mamela will be Bechlal Neder. Okay. So for the Gemara, my Pascha, if Shmuel's taka maskim to Ula Svara of Lo Yadr Mechayusei, so then how come Shmuel doesn't just learn the Mishnah like Ula did? And say also that the Mishnah is talking about in a case where the Nechasim and the Chayla also on the Mavakar, and the Heter is only do it by Midah because he wasn't Mischaman to be Madir him, something that's in the Gei B'chaya. Why don't you just say the one Shmuel already say like Ula? So the Gemara, Amar Rava, Shmuel Basnitzka, she said. The reason why Shmuel did not learn like Ula because he had a kasha on the Mishnah, according to Ula's Pshat. Because if it's the Mishnah is talking about the Nechasim and the Chayla Asar and the Mavakar, so Ibazoi Ma'ir the Tani Oymid, why did the Tana Mishnah say is Motor Mavakar Oymid Avalo Yoshev? L'chayr, it's that reason. If it's Negei L'chayav, it's all Svara, it's Motor to do it even be Yeshiva. That was his kasha on Ula's Pshat. Shmami no, the Nichsim Mavakar also on the Chayla. So therefore Shmuel said, Muzzayin, the Mishnah is talking about the opposite. The Nechasim Mavakar are Asar on the Chayla, and therefore he's not allowed to visit him b'yeshiva, because it's talking about a place where they took schar, and it's only mutter ma'amida because you don't take schar, and it's a mitzvah, so therefore it's mutter. Zok Gemara Amar Shlakish. Shlakish says, Remez of Birkur Cholim and Atar Menayim. Where is the remez to the mitzvah of Birkur Cholim visiting the sick and Atayra? Shenemar. It says the Gavri Machloikis of Korach v'Adasai, that Moshe Rabbeinu gave them a siman that Hashem sent him to appoint Aaron a kohen. And it says on Korach Hadasim by Midr Perak Tezayim Pasuk Chav Tes, in Kamois Kala Adam Yimusan Elef Kudas Kala Adam. Then Yipokad Aleim LeHashem Shalachani. So the Gemara asks, "My mashma? Where does it say in this pasuk Birkur Cholim? You're bringing me this pasuk, but where does it say Birkur Cholim?" Amar Rava says, "This is how you have to touch the pasuk. In Kamois Kala Adam Yimusan Elef." If these people die and they're chaylin and motel by risasa, and people visit them, and people would say that Hashem did not send you. So here you see that it's a mitzvah too, mivakar chaylim. Because you see the pasuk is mentioning them that before they die, they're going to get sick, and people are going to visit them. Mozayin, that is the mitzvah to visit people. Zakti Gemara Darash Rava made another drasha. It says, by Midr Park Tezayim pasuk Lamer, Bria Yivra Hashem. If Hashem would create a bria, and it says the rest of the pasuk of Fatsa Adama Espio, and the ground would open up and swallow them. So, Zakti Gemara in Bria, which is Gehenim. So if Hashem already created Gehenim, Mutav is good. V'Tia, Mutav, Tia, it's good. It'll be for them a punishment. Lav, and if not, Yivra. Then Yivra Hashem, then Hashem will create Gehenim now, and that will punish them. So the Gemara's understanding that Moshe Rabbeinu was Mesupik if Gehenim was already created. The Gemara, is that true? But Tanya, Brisa says, Shivadvaram Nivru Kainim Shinivra Elam, 7 things were created before the world was created, Ve'elu Hain, and these are them, Torah, Tshuva, Gan Edim, Gehenim, Kisar Kavli, Beis HaMikdash, Mashal Mashiach. So you see clearly the Brisa says that one of them is listed as Gehenim. So now the Gemara is going to bring the Makaris for them. Torah the Chsiv, it says in Mishlei Paraches Pasuk Beis, Hashem said, the Torah says, Hashem Kanani, Hashem created me, Reishis Darkai, Kedem Vom Oz, Tshuva the Chsiv B'Taram Har Relodav Atacholel. Then it says Tashiv Anashat Daka, V'Taimer Shuva B'nei Adam, Gan Eden the Chsiv Ayida Hashem Lekim Gan Eden Mikedem. And Mikedem means before Beis Ha'olam. Gehenim, it says Yishai Lam and Perak Lam and Pasuk Lam Gimel Ke'arich Me'esmal Tafte, and Tafte is Gehenim, and Esmal is the second day of Beis Ha'olam, which is the only day which you have which is a day that you have yesterday, but you don't have 2 days before that. Kisei kavod, and you know the chsiv nachin kasachem me'az. Based on English chsiv kisei kavod mar merishain mekoyim k'tashenu. Shmai Shal Mashiach was created before Beis Ha'olam because it says Yehi Shmai La'olam Fnei Shemesh Din Shmai. So the chayra, yeah, that's the bottom line. So you see that how is Shayach Moshe Rabbeinu is a topic. If you see clear in this pasuk that Gemara wrote the Makar that Gehenna was created for Beis Ha'olam. Zok the Gemara that Moshe Rabbeinu taken Nuel Lahachi Kamar. This is what Moshe Rabbeinu was saying. Every puma, if the opening was already created to swallow Korech Vadasai Mutub, so that's good. Memloi Yiv Hashem. If that hasn't been created, then Hashem will create it at the time. So, for example, about Ksiv Ein Kol Chodesh Tachas Hashemesh. After Sheish Bereshis, nothing new was created. So how could a new opening be created for Gehenna? Zok the Gemara, Hachi Kamar, and this is what Moshe meant to say. Hacha Loi Mikarav Puma Lahachi Lekarav. He was saying that if the opening of a Gehenna is not close to here, then it should get close to here. Hashem should bring it close to here. Darash Rabba made a Darash Rabba Amrulei. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, some say Rabbi Yitzchak said it. Ma'idich Sev, this is what it says, Shemesh Yireach Amad Zevula. It's mashma that the Shemesh and Yireachs were in the sky that's called Zevul, which is the fourth sky of the 7 skies. So, fracting Amara, Shemesh Yireach Bezvul My Bayin. What were they doing there? V'habarakia Kvi, L'chayra, should be in the 2nd sky. So you see that this pasuk is talking about Chalekes Korech Vadasai, and at that time, when the B'shas Machlekes, they went up Mekiel Zvol, and they said, Ribbon Shalom Mata Oisadin Leben Abram, and you show that Moshe is correct, Neged Korech Vadasai Anu Meirim. We will continue to show light. If not, we'll stop giving light. But also Oisa Shah. Yorabehen chitzim achanisois. Hashem put on them chitzim achanisois. Hashem threw at them chitzim. Amar Lam, he told them, Chol yom yom mishtachvon lachem. Every day of the year, the goyim bow down to you and you still give light. Bechvoidi loim bechisem, and when the goyim bow down to you and serve you avodah zarah, you do not make a bracha. Bechvoid basav adam for Moshe bechisem. Only for Moshe you're gonna make a macha. And since then, like the Gemara, ubechol yom v'yoyim eina meirim. And since Hashem told them that they're musar, so they stopped giving light. Yoyrim ben chitzim achanisis umeirim shneimar la'or chitzach yalechu. So Hashem, it seems like it's saying, the Gemara is saying that they stopped from the day that Hashem gave them that musar. They stopped giving light because the goyim were bowing down to them until Hashem was yoyich chitzon v'chanisis to them, and then they started giving light again. Like the pasuk says, Chavakuk la'or chitzecha yehalechu. So, like the Gemara about Tanya, we learned the Brisa. Bikur cholim ein lashir. Bikur cholim has no limits. Like the Gemara, my ein lashir. What does it mean? It doesn't have a shir. Savar Rav Yosef, Rav Yosef thought to say, ein shir lamatan tzchara. There's no shir to the reward one will get. Amar Lei, so Abaye told him, V'chol mitzvahs miyeh shir l'mat schar, and every other mitzvah is a shir to the amount of schar you get. V'atanan, the Mishnah says in Aves Parak Beis Mishnah Aleph, Hevi zar b'mitzvah kala v'chamura. Be careful with a light mitzvah, like a very chamadig mitzvah. She'inat yedei mat schar shal mitzvahs, because you don't know the matan schar mitzvah. You don't know how much schar you'll be getting for something that seemingly looks like a small mitzvah, something that seems like a big mitzvah. Elam Abaye said no. What it meant to say, the Brisa means to say, is Ein Shir means afilu gadol eitzel katan. Even an older person by a katan, even though it's not lafi chvayda, is chayav to visit him. Rava says afilu meipam yom. There's no shir for the amount of times in a day, because maybe you'll visit him 5 times and he'll still get sicker and he'll need the visitor a 6th time. So he's saying there's no shir. Zokti Gemara Vayter. Amar Abacha Bar Chanina. Kol mavakar choyle notel echem mishishim mitzaref. If somebody who visits a sick person, you take 1/60th of his pain. Armile. So Rabbi Acha asked Bar Chanina, Im kein liyal shitim lukmoa. So let him to get 60 people and to visit the sick person, and since each person takes a 60th of the machlo, the guy should be held all the way. Amarle, so he told him Kusuraisa de Rebbe, that it doesn't mean that 6 people come, each person takes 1/60th. It means after the first person comes to visit, then whatever's left after that, the next person takes 1/60th of that. And Zakta Gemara the Bengiloi. This only helps in the Bengiloi of the Chayla. The person has the same mazel, but it's not a Bengiloi, it does not take from his Chayli at all. So Zakta Gemara, and Gemara is going to explain what does it mean Kisuraisa de Rebbe. The Tanya learned in a Brisa, Rebbe Omer Bas Hanizonis Menichse Achin, a daughter that gets fed from the chasam of the brothers, meaning a person dies and he leaves over sons and a daughter. So the halacha is that the brothers feed the daughter, they're mefarnas the daughter. And when the daughter gets married, she takes from her father's inheritance 1/10 of nechasim. So Amar Leila Rebbe Lidvarecha, they told him it comes out, Misha Yesh Loi Eser Banais Ubein. If somebody has 10 daughters and 1 son, so each daughter would take 1/10 of nechasim. Ein Leila Bein Makoim Banis Klum. So it would come out that the son has nothing left over himself. So Rebbe told him no. It's not like that. Harishayna, the one that gets married first, Netalis Yisachad takes 1/10 from the whole entire Yerusha. Shnia takes from what she left over. So she left over 90, she takes 1/10 of that. The Shlishis would take 1/10 of that, with the second one left over. So Kumtois, that each one, all of them together, all the 10 kids, take a little bit more than half of the nechasim. What happens if they all get married at one time? Then they all go back and they split it equally. In this share they take from Yerusha, and the rest of the nechasim would go to the son. So that would be the halacha. If a guy died, he left over 10 girls and 1 son. So that's the Gemara is explaining. That's Isuraisa the Rebbe.